Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Cult of Costa. You're going to be seeing me move this mic loads because I move loads. So, today we're I put on my Snapchat there. Like, if you don't have me on Snapchat, add me, CostCR7 there. Um, I put up to ask questions, and I got a load, okay, and I will answer anything, but we got a load of questions, and I'm like, if I didn't get so many, I did get good questions here, like, but if I didn't get so many questions, then I would answer the ones that are like, would you ride your Mahar all up? Which, no, I wouldn't. So there's your question out of the way, gang. Okay, so I have a load of questions here. I just have them in an email here, so I have to scroll through them, and we'll pick, something I feel interesting, that, right? We'll have load here. I'll probably get around answering them all, that. I think something funny that, right. Here's one too, which I think's a bit silly. Like, what football team do you actually support, bro? The amount of different ones you have on is outrageous, and it's like, do you mean GAA ones? Like, because I don't really care. I don't really care for GAA. I love Donegal, like, and I've followed Donegal since like Michael Murphy in like 2012 because everybody said it looked like him, and yeah, met him a few times. Hopefully, getting to interview him someday. But yeah, just Donegal really. I get all the jerseys because I think everybody gets like every GA jersey. It's not that much of a loyalty. Like, nobody really hates anyone in Ireland like that way. Like, if we're talking about football teams, I support Liverpool quite die-heartedly. And also I love Real Madrid because Liverpool were so bad when I was young. You just watched them, like, I followed them religiously, but um they just never won anything, and they were just inconsistent. So it was like, okay, I loved Ronaldo. I always loved, like, Ronaldo's my favorite player ever. Him and Luis Suarez, like, and he played for Real Madrid, and I just followed Real Madrid really intensely when I was like 10 till I still do follow them intensely, like, but sort of stopped when I was like 16, 17, like, um. Yeah, it's just really mainly Liverpool. Obviously, I want Liverpool to beat Madrid, like, but yeah, they didn't really have a rivalry too much when I was younger, like, because they never fucking qualified. Liverpool never qualified for the Champions League, so now they do have a rivalry, so it's hard. But nah, I support Liverpool way more. I don't, and I wore PSG tops because I love Neymar, like, and Mbappe, but I love Neymar as well. Like, Neymar's the coolest guy in the world. So that's the only tops you've ever seen me in, is Liverpool and the Real Madrid one I got at Christmas, my first Real Madrid top in years, and Liverpool tops, which is like 90% of my wardrobe, like, and wrestling tops. So the different ones you have on isn't really outrageous. Like, you should know I support Liverpool. I make it quite fucking clear all the time. I live in Liverpool, actually. Yeah, so um, but yeah, I'm not taking that offensive there. I'm just answering it. Right, here's a few questions, and I'll read them all out, and I'll just answer them all at once. Right. Um, what happened to the pro music career? Planning on making new songs in different genres. Rap career highlights. Wondering if you still plan on ever making the Buys music. And the people who don't know, this isn't old. This is a loyal day one fan, obviously, day one cult member, not fan. That knew heard of the Buys, because the Buys was only ever a story tease. Like, the Buys was me and my brothers Dwayne getting involved in making music with us, because he makes guitar, he plays guitar and stuff. And he was able to do that. Um, Always been a fan of your genuine talent as a writer, and think the end of Hilarious is genuinely creative. Yeah, Hilarious was a song that I actually only ever had a beat, an influence on the beat. Like, I only ever, like, co-produced it. The rest I just let Tiernan work away. But, like, in the end of my songs, I would always tell Tiernan, do something like that there, like, do something just completely creatively all over the place, like, and we would do that, like, so the song so the song would rise, and it would go up, and it would fizzle out, like, so it wouldn't just end on the beat, it would rise up and it would go out, and I always tried to do that, like, because at the end of the day, you're making stories, like, with the songs, and that's what I always try to do. Hilarious was pretty deeply written, like, Hilarious is my best song by far, like, and I don't think I'm not gonna say nothing comes close to that. I do have closest good songs, but it's by far my best. Like, and it's probably because it's the only one that I ever feel that is really, really different. Like, I don't think there's anybody out there make songs like it. Maybe like Slow Tie and Gorillas and stuff. Like, I thought it was really, really innovative, and that was 2 years. I was over 2 years ago. It was near 3 years ago. Well, it was well over 3 years ago. I made that song. Made it in 2019, I think. But I don't think we would ever make did we and like we tried to make music as the boys. Like we have songs there, but like this is gonna all lead into the same thing. Like with songs there, they just never finished. They just never were finished either by. I had to do something which just happened a few times, or Tiernan just didn't produce them, didn't mix them, or Dwayne didn't do something, and they just would fizzle out. Like it was too hard to get us three guys on the same page, like because I just didn't want to do it. Oh, plan to making songs different genres. That's another thing. I'm big into rock, and I'm like my Tierran's like a mainly house and techno, like, and he made all them songs, and I would go to him. I'd be like, make the fucking house and techno beats, and I'll rap over them, like, and we'd do that, and it would just never come out. Like the songs would never get mixed, the songs would never get finished, and that would be it. It would just would be it. You know what I mean? Like, and um, that's essentially what happened. Like, that's essentially what happened because it was you need two people at all time. Like, to make the good music. Like, you know, I could go get a fucking YouTube beat that just is shit and rap over it and do it myself, but I'm sure it wouldn't be worth it. Like, wouldn't be worth writing the song out for this shit beat. Like, so me and Tiernan would just make songs, but they just took too long to come out, and then eventually they just stopped coming out. Like, you know, like when you're rapping there and you're rapping there and you make a song, and then fucking 9 months later, a year later, it comes out. It's like, I'm so over this song by the time it even comes out. Do you know what I mean? Like it just took far too long, and just sort of sucked the life out of the music for me. Like, you never really leave it though. I'll obviously go back to it. I'll do some this summer. Like, I'm back home in April. Like, but I'll do some this summer. Like, and we'll hopefully do a show or something. Hopefully that in Moran Point or something. I haven't approached anybody about it. That's just what I would like to do. Um, yeah, but that's essentially what happened with it. Like, that's what happened to it. It's just that, like, I was in the house and I would do this rap, and then your song would do well, and then you wouldn't have another fucking song comes out for a year if you were lucky. You were literally releasing one song a year when we brought it. They just took too long to come out. They took too long to get finished. They took too long to do this and do that, and then you had to get promotion behind it. And it was I like did so much promotion, like, for songs. Like, I didn't plaster them on stories. And, like, this is how I got most of my audience from America. Like, I didn't plaster it on my story, be like, listen to my song, listen to my song. This'll like cure cancer. Like, I didn't. I would just put the song up, maybe like good load for a week. As you know, I do with my TikToks and stuff. Like, I just post them on my story and then let you tear away. Like, because if I'm gonna shove it down your throat, then you're not gonna even. It's gonna, like, reverse psychology. But, like, I'm actually not gonna listen to it just to spite you. Like, and then, like, yeah, like, if you're gonna do it like that, then people just aren't gonna listen. People are gonna have to want to listen. Like, so I would just, like, email hundreds of Spotify playlists, like, and SoundCloud playlists and stuff, and there's like a repost thing on SoundCloud, like, where people just, like, find new artists and repost them. Like, and I was kind of big in Ireland, like, and this is another thing I'll get to. But anyway, I was kind of big in Ireland, like, and then people would just repost songs. Your songs done well in Ireland, but it was mostly in America, in New York, New Jersey, Atlanta. Like, my songs done the best. Like, sure, I'm not fucking from there, so how would I ever capitalise on that? Like, and that was what my main worry was that, okay, get big in America, because rap only matters in America. Because rap literally up until like 2018, 2019 didn't matter in the UK charts at all. It was just like, I was still like, oh, you listen to rap, you fucking weirdo, that's pure shite. And there's young ones still like that, like Nile Burden and all. Like, he's just, like, so that fucking stupid that he can't hear something that isn't like 180 beats per minute, just dun 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 dun. Like, there can't be a moment of error in the songs where he gets to think. Like, he doesn't really like words in songs either. But, like, that's just what it is. Like, it's like, you were back then, everybody. It was a gift and a curse, because it was like, some people were like, oh, you're a rapper, that's really cool, and then it would be like, he's a rapper, he's a fucking weirdo, like, which is just the same issue as I was talking about last week. So you had to battle them two things all the time, like, and so that's basically why I just drove out, like, and it was doing it with somebody else, that you couldn't just do it yourself. And I was sitting thinking, like, and I was doing it, like, I left school when I was 19, and it was like still doing the music and all that stage. Sorry, I cracked my knuckle there, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, like, you were doing music at that stage, and I was still in school, and I was doing wrestling, and I was doing all this, and it was like, how, I don't know how I'd find the time to do any of it. Like, and still do well at all of it. Like it was a miracle that I done well out of it. But there's only so much you can do with it when you're doing it with somebody else, and the music just never comes out. It just takes far too long. Like I wrote hundreds and hundreds of songs, and I always did, and most songs end up I sold them, or else I just kept them. I wrote loads of rock songs when I was 19, 18, 19, 20. Get into rock really heavily, wrote loads of rock songs, but I can't sing, so they just got sold or like given to somebody that. And so that's just all I did. Like I would go on musicxray.com and sell songs, and then eventually labels would reach out and stuff, and you just send songs to them. But yeah, just essentially a ghostwriter. Like, but I did that for a while, and then just realized that like it's actually not worth the money. Like because money's not even real. But anyway, we'll get into that at another point. So yeah, that's just what happened to music, and then I leaned into wrestling, which I was doing all by myself, and that was too stressful. You can't do that by yourself, but I did do it by myself, and then TikTok ultimately did start it by myself. You know what I mean? Like doing comedy stuff that I've done, as I said, on my story for years, um, and did that myself, and now I'm like done really well off it, and I can still do it myself, but like obviously having my mates like Ben, Niall, Connell, Cormac helping me like do videos with me, like so like they help do the bigger production ones, like but if I get an idea in my room I can still just film it and get good views and capitalize off it, like, and that's the most important thing, is that I am well equipped to do stuff myself now, like, and that's what's better. I don't have to wait on anybody and stuff, but I'm still gonna do music and stuff, like just don't get the time there. Like I was home there from last Thursday to Sunday there 10 days, like just went up to the farm every day, fed the cows and the calves, came home, fucking right, would shower, would go out and get my mates, because we'd go out to see my mates and we'd near every night, and we'd go do something, because like when we're together, just like ideas just kind of flow. Like I don't know, with me, and I'll be like, let's do a video for this, and they're totally up for it. Like, cause my mates before, they're too fucking cool to be on camera. You know what I mean? Like, so them guys like it, like, and they know they're funny, like, and they know that they're fucking skits, like. So I just get a lot of stuff done with them, like. I just don't get time to make music, and I just don't have it. You just have to be in that mindset for it. Like I still write all the time and all that there, but it's actually standing up and recording. It's one of the most uncomfortable experiences I think in the fucking world. It just turned into, it wasn't when I was younger, but it just is now. I just don't really like it, like. But I will obviously do it again, like, 'cause I'm good at it, like. And that was my first ever foray into anything, is music. Like I'm a musician first and foremost, apparently, like. Not at the minute, obviously, like, so. But started as a music writer. That's what I was always kind of funny, like, to like to everyone when I was in school. I was still funny, like. But like even in primary school as a child, I was funny, like. But I've always wanted to be a musician, and I don't know why. I just always wanted to be on stage, and just lack of attention as a child probably fucking thing. That's what all celebrities and fucking all musicians say. Although I'm not a celebrity yet, so we still need to get that attention in. Um, but that's just what it is. Like that's just me being real there. Like. But yeah, the highlights of it was doing the concert in Duke, where there was, or not Duke. Duke. Well, I did a concert in Duke, and it was my best show ever. Like, it wasn't as many people at it as the first one I done, No Doubts in Uri, but that O'Dowd's one was lit, because because there was like 400 people at it, and we made a fortune, like, and it was just class. It was really good. But crowds aren't that good, like. But the Duke one, the crowd was really good, like, 'cause we shut the smoking area, like. As a sign of fucking watch me, like, you know what I mean, as a sign of like I am the star here, like, just kind of attention seeking thing, like. But what other highlights? I remember my highlights, like, I remember as I said last week, I made song Hell's Boss when I was like 14, a comedy song, and it was my first successful song, and it was just a total joke. And then, but the thing is like, see, when you were young and them songs were so funny, there's people that are gonna be thinking like I'm actually seriously singing in them songs, and that's the people that just call me a weirdo and a mean by it today. And it's just like, you don't understand that I am in on the joke the entire time. Like I have been being funny and comedic and and this entire time. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that's just something people never got, and I think they're finally getting it now, 8 years later. But yeah, the That's the rap career highlights. I remember when XXX Tentacion RIP went into jail. He was still in jail. I remember his Facebook page at the time, right before he went to jail, like reposting one of my songs. I had a remix of No Heart by 21 Savage, which was like my best song at the time. And yeah, like that was a big deal for me, like, because he was in jail at the time and he was just super famous, like, and then he got out of jail, all the management switched, he got put on a different label, I think, and I was supposed to get a feature or something with him, but like that was like $800, like, or something. Like, it was something super cheap when he went into jail, like, because he wasn't that famous yet, but then he just blew up as he went into jail. And yeah, I knew him right before he went to jail, I think in 2016, and yeah, but obviously never got it, like, but got reposted or whatever, like, but that was a big thing, like, um, but that was the rap career highlights. There they used to email rappers all the time, like, for features. Remember, like, Migos in 2016. Like, this is back when my songs were shit. Emailing them, they were a lot for a feature. I'm not gonna say, but now they're probably a million times more. And Take Off, God rest his soul. You know, I got a feature price for him. Obviously, couldn't afford it because I was a fucking child. But yeah, I was just in contact with him. Like, but at this time, they were massive in America, and I was obsessed with Migos and Gucci Mane and all that. And Travis Scott and all. You couldn't get in contact with Travis Scott because he was massive at the time. Like, but you could get in contact with all these other people, like, and their management and stuff. And Lil Uzi Vert's like main producer at the time, Mally Raw. Remember being in contact with him loads. I was supposed to get like 3 beats off him, but I just never did because I'm fucking lazy. But yeah, I was used to talk to him a good, like. Let's keep it on the rapper bit here. Top 5 best rappers of all time in your opinion. Right, well, like, I'm not gonna be able to put this in order, but I'm not gonna put the number one in order. And if you know me, then you know this, right? The best rapper ever, my biggest inspiration ever, my everything. Jay-Z is by far the best rapper ever lived. Okay, the wordplay, everything, storytelling, it's just fantastic. Like, he's a poet, he's a philosopher, he's everything. One of the best writers ever lived. Um, got into him when I was 11, saw him when I was 13, just writing after him constantly. Used to be a time I bought every Jay-Z album when I was 11, I think, on iTunes, like, and like me and James Rogers would share the phone when then he got my iPhone 4S. You just shuffled, and 2 out of 3 songs I think was just Jay-Z, so you were just fast forward Jay-Z, 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 it was just constant Jay-Z. And then Kanye West. Well, Kanye West and Jay Z, but it was most because Kanye West didn't have as much music as Jay Z at the time. He only had like 3 or 4 albums at that stage, but Jay Z had loads. So it was just constant Jay Z and Kanye West, constant Jay Z and Kanye West. I bet Drake. But best rapper ever, Jay Z. He's my everything. Best artist ever is Kanye West. So I'll put Kanye West in the top 5. So they're my 2 biggest inspirations in music. So, but I'm not putting them in order, okay? Jay Z's number 1, but the rest can be in any order, right? So Kanye West, Nas, Kanye West, Nas, um, Kanye West, Nas, Tupac. That's 4. And who would put 5th? A rapper that I really love, inspired me a lot. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say Travis Scott because I don't think he's not one of the best rappers ever. He's a great artist, like, but don't think he's one of the best rappers ever. Like, I like Outkast, like, so I would say Andre 3000's probably in the top 5 there. Like, he's so creative and so innovative. Like, but I don't know. I like honorable mention be Pusha T. I think he's fantastic wordplay. He's a lot like Jay Z, and he's tough. You know, he absolutely murdered Drake on the diss track, and he would murder anyone on the diss track. Um, he's just a fantastic, fantastic rapper. Like, oh fuck, Kendrick Lamar. That's in the top 5. Like, fucking stupid. Like, it was Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm so fucking stupid. Like, it was Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, Jay Z, my biggest inspo. Like, I got into Kendrick Lamar when I was 12, and ASAP Rocky, but Kendrick Lamar, but I like him more. Um, that's who I was mainly into. So my main writing, like, storytelling, was Kendrick Lamar, wordplay is Jay Z, and overall rap was Jay Z. Kanye West is best for actually making hits and actual songs and actually really innovative sounds and just shit that you've never heard before and something different all the time. Just super, super innovative. Like, just nobody can do it like him. because I saw this question last night, and I knew it straight away, that, and I knew I was gonna fucking forget somebody, that. So it's be Jay Z number one, then the rest you can mix up. Will be Kanye West, Tupac, Kendrick Lamar, and I'm forgetting the other fucking bastard, Nas. There, Jay Z, Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, Tupac, Nas. Oh, I think Tupac, because he has so many albums and he has great stories too, and he has a lot of albums that are just like mixed together because he's dead, like, but still has a lot of great anthems. Like, um, are you going to pursue music? If so, will you be consistent? No, because I was never consistent with music because of the reasons I said. So I cannot say that I'm going to be consistent because there's no point, right? Um, what's the strongest motivational quote you have seen? Usually, like, if you ever speak to me for a long time, or like have a conversation with me, I usually just speak in film quotes. Like I just relate everything to films. Like, so I don't know. Like, you were just saying, there are do or do not. There is no try. Is one that I always live by. I remember watching Fight Club when I was 19. I first watched it when I was 19, like, because it got on Amazon Prime, and that was just like life changing for me. That I watched it like 5 times in 1 week. That's how I just like it just blew my mind. Like, I was like, this is fantastic writing, acting, filmmaking. I've never seen nothing like this, even though it had the twist at the end spoiled for me, like, because everybody knows it, like, but I still loved it, like. So it was like, what was it? You're not your job. You're not your fucking khakis. You're not the car you drive. You're not the clothes you wear. You're the all singing, all dancing, shit of the world. You're not a unique snowflake and stuff. And I was like, and when I seen that, I was like, holy fuck. I was like, oh my god, like, we are literally not real. I was like, we are worthless. Like, so it was kind of like, kind of brought me down to earth kind of thing. Like, just had never seen nothing like it, because it was like, and I kind of related to it because I had this like Costa character all the time, and he wasn't even the character. I used to say that a lot of times. It was like, oh, I used to say, I'm playing a character, guys, leave me alone. But I don't really know what it was. It's like Costa's just like a lot more fun. It's just like, just you're funny behind it. You know, it's just a stage name. Like, you're funny behind it, because it was like, I used to say that as well. People would be like, Peter, like, why you call Costa? I'd be like, it's a stage name, like, and they'd be like, stage name, like. And I'd be like, well, it was the whole idea of it was because you can't go be a rapper as Dara. You can't go. Nobody knows how to pronounce it. Nobody know. It just is. I just don't like the name. You cannot do it. So it was Costa, and it was a Facebook name. I give the name to myself. It was not given to me. I give it to myself because I was obsessed with Project X. The main character was called Costa. When I was 11, I changed my name to it. Like, and I was like, that is the stage name. It's not a fucking nickname, because why the fuck would I be called Costa as a nickname? You pick your own stage name. It was a stage name. Like. And yeah, that's essentially it. Like, there any other motivational quotes? I used to like this one by Leonardo da Vinci. I remember reading it when I was like 10, 11, because he was in Assassin's Creed, the game. It was, what was it? It was like, the whole time I was trying to live, I was learning to die. Um, so that's kind of like, I always sort of remembered that, like, the whole time you were trying to live, the whole time you were learning to live, you were actually learning to die, which is like, take each day as a time. You're trying to spend and live in the moment, which I say literally every day. Just, we're living in the moment, like, because people ask me plans, I'll go on to it later. Actually, I'll explain the quote. It means that, like, well, it means to me that, like, while you were learning to live, which is like, get your job, go to school, get all this, get what makes you happy in the moment, go out and drink, go out and do whatever, you're actually learning to die. So you wasted all that time trying to learn to live, while your life just kind of wasted away, and you didn't focus, you didn't take some time to stop and smell the roses, and it just wasted away. So kind of, to me, it just means enjoy it every single day, take each day as it comes, and just live in the moment, which is what I do all the time, live in the moment. People will be texting me fucking plans all the time. Like, Colin will be texting me like, um, what time will you left me? What time will you be here? What time? And I goes, lad, I haven't a fucking clue how. I'm gonna go shower. I'm maybe gonna stare at the roof for about 20 minutes. I'll maybe go talk to my ma for half an hour. I'll maybe go talk to the dog for half an hour. I'll go kiss the cat Shadow for 20 minutes. I haven't a clue what time I'm pulling up your drive at. Like, I just haven't a notion. Like, so don't be asking me what time the plans is. Like we went to the Phoenix the other day. Me, Niall, Ben, and Connell, and we were lifting the nail. And she was texting me like, "What time you left me?" I was like, "Probably 10 o'clock," or if I'm honest, like. And this was at like 6:30. And I was at Niles, and she was like, "No, nine's the latest. You have to be here at 9. You have to be here at 9." I goes, "There's some fucking hope I'll be there at 9, because I'm going to get food here. I'm gonna lie in Niles' bed for half an hour. I'm gonna go home, get a shower, get changed, then have to drive the whole way to Newry, like, which is like 40 minutes, like. And I'm not really looking to rush it, high. And fair enough, I was actually honest there. I did land there. I did get her at 10 o'clock, like, but I was pretty accurate with that, like. But I always do that. Like, we be going on nights out to the Duke of Moran Point and stuff, and like people would be like, "Oh, let's go at 8:30." I swear to God, I make it my actual goal to pull up at that hole for 11:15, because the doors shut at 11. I will be in there as late as possible. Like, so go in there quick, enter a quick exit. Like, I don't know why I do it. It's pure laziness. Like, it's like just lie in the house and stare at the roof for a wee while. Like, just that, be as late as possible, as long as you can get in. That is all that matters. Like, and that's essentially it. Like, any other inspirational quotes there? Like, a lot of Batman ones that I was like, well, no, Thanos. I think when he said "I am inevitable," like, I thought that was pretty cool, because it was like, become inevitable. Like, do whatever you want and don't let anybody stop you. Like, be inevitable, like, and it's kind of good for like workout or whatever. Like, and training and stuff and fighting. That kind of like that. And then there's Batman ones like, I'm starting to believe I made a difference in this city, as Robert Pattinson says in this, and it's just like, don't become vengeance, you become justice, which is like, I'm obsessed with Batman, so I just love all this. Um, Joker in the Dark Knight, what was it? It was like, these are all like super fucking Facebook cringe quotes now, but they were like expertly written in the day. Like, there's live long or die a hero, or live long enough, see yourself become the villain, which is like fucking perfect. Like, which is like, cause like I have done that, where it's like, at home is such a bubble, and you will get sick. Like, if you don't expand your audience, the audience will get sick of you. So people just got sick of me. Started as a hero, became the villain. I played a villain all the time when I was wrestling, like, and I was so good at being a villain and so good at being a heel that everybody just hated me and thought I was serious, like, and I was acting. I've already said that. But anyway, and then there's what else? Joker's like, the Agent of Chaos. Why so serious? Which I still say like every fucking day. Um, but yeah, the Agent of Chaos one is like, I can't remember it word for word, but it's like, you see it mimicked on Facebook and all his jokes, where it's like, da 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 da, no one bats an eye, but if I do this, then society loses their whole mind. And it was just like, it was so good at the time, like, but now it's like pure Facebook cringe quotes, like. But nah, I suppose I have a Joker tattoo, like, so I'm in the middle of it, like. That's not finished yet either, so don't judge. But anyway, I think that's enough of the film stuff. I have a few Godfather ones, a few Marlon Brando ones, and stuff like that. I always remember, but they're like, they're not motivational. They're just quotes that sit in my head all the time to depress me, really, to be honest. Like, and that's it. Like, um, honest opinion on Geedy. Like, here's honest opinion on Geedy. 28 minutes in. Like, I don't think there's any opinion to really have on him. Like, I'm sick to the fucking teeth for talking about him. Like, we never ever talk about him. I'm gonna sit up a wee bit. Like, I never ever talk about him ever. I don't think there's anything to talk about with him. Hold on, full of gas. But anyway, I'm riffing here. I don't think there's anything is to talk about him. I remember doing the video after he blew at me, and I think that pretty much summed it up. He's not a real person. He's literally Siri. He's artificial intelligence. He is not real. I think he was created by Stormont to distract from the fucking problems in government. Because nobody, like, be real there, Geedy. Like, there is very little people who actually do care for your content or anything. Like, he talked about me in a club recently to a girl who's a close friend of mine, and he said that they asked what do you think of Costa, and like, I don't ever talk about you actually, that, and you think I do all the time. he said like, oh, Costa's like built his whole career off me. This is literally what he said. He says Costa built his whole career off me. He's obsessed with me, and there's levels to this, lad. There's levels to suck my balls. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are not fucking Jake Paul roundabout, and no matter how much you dye your hair blonde to look like him or dress like him or get tattoos the exact same as him, you're not Jake Paul, lad. Like, okay, his influence and shit stopped in 2017, 18. He's boxing now. Like, he actually has a talent there. Like, you don't. Said that before. You're not doing anything. Like, you're not making music. You're not doing anything. Try to get you to wrestle. You don't wrestle. Like, you won't do it. Like, you won't do anything. Like, you're hateful, like super hateful of me for no reason. Like, I've made a joke about you, like made I think 2 jokes about you, like, and then like you just go on about it, like you go on about I built my whole profile off you, lad. My greedy vid, I made 2 vids in you, I think, like one, the first one stitching your video, the second one about when you blocked me, like, and then the influencer vids are just influencer vids. They're fucking character, lad. Like you don't even say litty, like you don't say function. You never said that. I said that. Like, I said litty. You go my videos ages ago. I saying this weekend was litty. Like, and it's Travis fucking Scott. Like, been a fan of Travis Scott from he produced and featured on Jesus in 2013. Like, you didn't even listen to rap back then. Probably, like, you dress like me in 2017. Okay, go to my photos of me from 2017, 2018. You dress like me then. You're so far behind. I think you're an idea of an idea. I don't think there's an ounce of originality about you. And the fact you say there's levels to this, and me who started TikTok in November is competing for it. I don't even see your views because I'm blocked, but I just know that I'll get the same amount of views, if not more, in videos, and I can upload way more consistently because I'm way more creative. I get way more ideas. I'm much more talented, like, and that, and not even being cocky, like, that is just the true fucking fact of it, lad. You're a hateful cunt, like. When I made videos, all I ever wanted to do was have the fucking crack wheel at, and you blocked me. And no, I made 3 videos because I stitched the video. This is what you blocked me over, like. You blocked me over a video of you getting your Grande Yeezys, which I thought was cool as fuck because, giddy, I have 2 pairs of Yeezys. The first ever pair of Yeezys, the 750s grey ones. I have them because I'm an actual fan. I sold just in school for 2 months, made £300 and bought them retail when they come out, and I have a pair of Moonrock which got for Christmas this same year. So I have thousands of pounds worth of Yeezys. So I think they're cool that you got your granda them. The joke of it was that my grandas are dead, so I can't get them Yeezys. Okay, that was just such a harmless fucking joke. Like, not even offensive of you, not even anything of you. Like, that was me just trying to come, like, because people were like, do something, like, you got his fucking granda Yeezys, and I'm like, I think that's cool. And then I done that video and you blocked me, like, you actually took that thick, like. This is just proves that you're not made for this social media shit, lad. You know what I mean? Just stay drop shipping there and fuck off, like. Unless you want to be my mate, like, then I don't care for you, like, I don't care. You know what I mean? And then that's my opinions on him. Is that it's just not real. I don't care. Videos aren't even good. For a start, like, you stop doing night out videos because I would do night out videos and they were jokes and they would still be better nights out than yours. And they would be much funnier, and they'd be better filmed, and they'd be better edited, and they'd be fun. Okay, so I actually took that fucking niche off you, like, so that's that gone. And then say you built your whole profile off me. Your biggest videos of the last while are you saying, are you like walking down them stairs or something and being like litty, going to the litty Travis Scott party, going to the litty function, and it's like, okay, use my jokes then, guys, and then say I built my whole profile off it. Okay, guys, use my jokes, and then call it your trend. Okay, guys. You know what I mean? Like, do come up with something yourself, guys. Like, and you know, I'd be happy enough to help you out. I talk to Jed pretty often there, like, and he's a whole lot sounder than me, and he's sound to me, but behind my back, we don't know. I heard something in the Kremlin. He said something in the Kremlin about the other day. I think it was in the Kremlin or something. I don't go out in Belfast, so I don't know. Somebody asked him about me, and they tell me these things, like. But I give Jed the benefit of the doubt because I know he talks to me, but if he doesn't like me, he doesn't like me. I don't really care, that, okay? Like, he said, somebody asked him, what do you think, what's the crack with Costa, or what's the crack with Costa? Me and him talk pretty regularly, that, And he said he's not even part of the conversation. It's like, what conversation are you fucking talking about, lad? Like, what conversation? Like, we're not fucking world peace here. Like, we make fucking TikToks. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what conversation are you on about? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and if we're talking about the fucking conversation of like us guys on TikTok, you live nowhere near me, lad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I get more interaction in my videos, and some get more views. But you have been doing this for ages. Like, I've been doing this since start November. I did this because somebody fell out of me. Like, you did this as your life. So I don't get it. Like, and if I'm not part of the conversation, then go talk to someone else. You know what I mean? If I'm not part of this conversation, then it's not worth being part of your conversation. Like. So yeah, I get enough support. But there are the two guys with the small following that think the following is massive. Okay, they're the guys with the small following that think they're unreal. That look down on people that. Yeah, I know that I know they do look down on people because they sit and post and be like, do it for yourself. They'll be like, do it for yourself. Like post and do your own personality, and like don't care about what people say, and just like fucking do it, man. Do it for yourself. Do it, don't care what people say, and you'll be a fucking star. And it's like, says you who slobber about absolutely every influencer in the world hasn't a good person. Unless you're from Belfast and covered in fucking tattoos and wear Boohoo Man jackets, they will not be your friends. They're so cliquey and annoying, and this is why nobody likes you. Like, and this is your own fault totally. I told you to be more self-aware. Jed is self-aware. Giddy is still not self-aware. Still has me blocked. Still talking slabbers about me. That, but yeah, that. It's all internet stuff. None of it's real. Like, they would never, ever, ever be cheating me in my face, like, because they'll never ever make me that. And I've always heard about people seeing Gideon in person and talking to him, him just fucking them off. But I see him taking photos of people in Thompson's if he's not slabbering about me. Like there's videos of him. I have a video of him being like, somebody asking what he hit a Costa, and he does this all the time. What he hit a Costa, and he's like, who, like a fucking owl. It's like, lad, like Jake Paul got beat by Tommy Fury. Like, get over it. And that's basically it. Like, there's a lot of influencers that are super supportive of me. John Devlin, fucking love John. Like, Dylan Wars, Jake Wars, like, they're large me, and Dylan don't try like to be so supportive of me from the jump. And Colin Doyle as well. Like, and Colin Doyle's fucking massive, and he talks to me so regularly, supports all my videos. He's one of the soundest guys out. Like, and I just know if I was in this picture, I don't know if I'd be that supportive. Like, I'd probably end up like Gideon Jeb, but I'm not. Like, I do be commenting on people's shit all the time, find it funny, and you know, like, I'd be reposting people's stuff, and it's just like, they don't repost anything. They don't support anyone that's any good, that is any uniqueness. If you go up and compliment them, they'll be like, oh bro, we're on a fucking vibe together, man. And it's just like, okay, empty words, okay. Like, say anything to them, they're like, bro, we just need to fucking create, bro. And it's like, okay, you heard somebody else say that, and now you're repeating it to me. Okay, let's put out this video, man. And it's just like, okay, you seen somebody else do that video, so just rip it off there for views. And then don't get a fraction of the views, and then get 100k views, and then be like, we fucking made it. We're like, we're team 10, we're the team 10 of Belfast. Like, your team suck my balls. Like, anyway, moving on from that. What made you start wrestling in the garden? I've just always been super into wrestling, like, and super into wrestling. And I remember when I was like 15, it was my 16th birthday. Like, me and Andrew McComb, and I'm sure everybody has like just all wrestled on the trampolines and shit when they were young, but like, we were actually good at it. Like, we actually made storylines and shit, like, we were pretty good at it. So like, when I was like 15, I was still the only one really into wrestling. Like, I was 15, and my 16th birthday was coming up, and we always did like big party for my birthday. That, and I was like, fuck it, we'll just wrestle. And I came up with it while I was actually trying to revise from GCSEs, like, and I just don't revise. When I try and revise, I come up with the greatest ideas known to man. Like, I probably, speaking of Kieran Cancer, like, I'd say if you stuck me in a fucking study room for about 3 hours, due to my inability to actually study, I would probably come up with, like, I could probably come up with flying colours, like, if you just tried to make me study there, like. But yeah, that's what made me start at that. I just knew I was good at it, and knew I was good at promos, knew I was good at this stuff. I was always kind of good at grappling that. So, yeah, that's technical wrestling, and then doing the flips and shit's not really my forte, but I do give it a go, like. But yeah, we'll get it done again this summer, we'll know soon. How are you so lit? Lad. I don't know, people always used to come up to me and be like, I'm sorry for burping on this mic here, but like, sure here. I'm fucking, I don't know how. What I do in the last week, fucking, we went out, it was Ben Matthews' birthday, we went bowling for it. I love bowling, I love going bowling, I go bowling at any opportunity, hey. Went bowling, and went up in Lisburn. I drove to Lisburn for the first time, and then we got food, and it was gorgeous. Bought him food, took him bowling, we all chipped in, except for Albert, and didn't chip in a fucking pound, because he's a hungry pig. And then Colin Rooney also didn't chip in a pound, because he's that fucking hungry. We went to a restaurant and he got a starter, and we all got large cokes, he got medium cokes, and the waitress actually laughed at him. Waitress was like, we were all like, well, no, because Ben started, he was like, can I get a medium coke? And I was like, I get a large coke, because I'm like baller. And then like, Niall was like, I get a large coke too. And then Cormac was like, I'll get a large coke too. And then Ben was like, actually, I'll get a large coke. And then we all did that, and it was funny that. And then Colin was like, I just get a medium coke. And then we were all like, we were all laughing at him, like, and the waitress woman laughed at him too. And then I think she called him ugly when she went away. But and then he just got a starter, like, and we were all sitting eating burgers. He just got a starter, and like the woman laughed at him again. She was like, "Here you are, hungry cunt." And he was like, "What?" And she was like, "No, I was talking to somebody else." But yeah. And then we got a cake to come out. We got a cake, like a wee bun to come out for Ben's birthday. And she came out. We were waiting literally 20 minutes on it, like, and it came out on the thing. And like Niall sent them up to go to give it to Connell, so they should give it down to Connell, would sing happy birthday, but they didn't. They give it to Ben because it was his birthday. Like, and we all sung happy birthday, and his head was right. So yeah, love celebrating big birthdays. Like, so I'll celebrate anybody's birthday. Like, my birthday's in May. Speaking of birthdays, today is Siobhan Higgins' birthday. As you know, the like queen of our cult, the leader of the cult, the heaven and hell, freedom and jail of mine. Yeah. Sorry I couldn't be there home to celebrate it with you, but girl, tried to last week, but you're here. But anyway, happy birthday, love you. Enjoy it, and make sure you do enjoy it, because I don't just like fucking sleeping all the time. But yeah, happy birthday, girl. What did I say in my story last night? It was like, my ma loves you, Gucci loves you, girl or cow loves you. Niall pretend that he loved you. To say all he loved you. Yeah. Shadow loves you. Most importantly, I love you. So, and we all love you. You're the reason we all have this cult. So, happy birthday to the leader of our cult. If you're in the comments and you get this far, say happy birthday, Siobhan. So yeah. That was it, yeah. Now my birthday is 22nd of May. Don't know what I'm doing for it. Might do a house party like I always do, but might be too many people, I don't know. We might be at a different level. ATM, but might do it anyway, fuck it. Name all the teachers that you don't think, in St. Commons, that you don't think you could beat in a fight. Mr. Dorn was good at jiu-jitsu there. Like, this is funny how Mr. Dorn, I remember our first ever assembly, that when I went into the year, like, somebody asked me as well, how many years did you have to stay, like, how many years did you have to do in St. Commons? Had to repeat 6th year because I failed my English exam. Our whole class failed in English, but I was the only one made repeat. Yep, so that was like a kind of beef that me and McKinney had. But we made peace after. Yeah, I remember getting put by ear for failing English, and everybody else did that, and I remember like Cathal Murray, who is like the bro, Mr. Murray, who is stuck his neck out for me and like helped me a lot. I was so lazy in 6th year, like I just did fuck all. Like I remember he stuck his neck out for me and was like, was like, nah, Dara's good enough to go into the year here, like he's good enough to continue, like in the 7th year, like, and McKinney was just like, no. And Mr. Sloan, also the English teacher, was like, no, he can do 7th year, like, I'll accept him and he's more than capable. And he just said no. So I had to repeat the year. That was awful. I had to go to fucking Our Ladies every day, and that was just. Our Ladies is a girls' school for anyone who doesn't know. A all girls' school in Uri, so we had to go to an all girls' school in Uri, and I was like still popular at the time. That I was popular in school, like, so I went there and everyone was like, it's Costa, 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 that's Costa, that's Costa, and it was like ghosts. It was like Dementors and fucking Harry Potter to me, like. No way the Dementors are the people that speak in partial tongue. And I was so anxiety ridden about repeating this year because I was like, this is a fucking joke. Like, this is a joke. I should not be doing this. That I just was like, didn't want to go back. Didn't want to do anything, but I loved St. Commons. Like, I didn't want to do anything and stuff like that. And just remember going to Our Ladies and doing the English, and the English was shite. It was shite. It was the worst English teaching I've ever done in my life. Okay. Mr. Sloan, really good English teacher, and I really enjoyed him. But Miss Donnelly in Our Ladies was dirt high. She just didn't like us, and that was really it. Girls always talk about this. Well, anyway, I went to Our Ladies, and then you would go up the stairs, and I was that head wrecked that I would just stare at my feet the whole time because it was just all girls, that, and you would just say, that's Costa, that's Costa, that's Costa, like partial tongues and fucking in Harry Potter, like, and that's all you would hear is Costa, 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 and it just was sickening, like, hold on, just finish that over, but it was just sickening. And then I remember, like, Grace Keogh walking past me. Grace Keogh used to fancy me so much, but anyway, she walked past, she was like, hey Costa, and I was staring at my feet that much I didn't even get seeing her, like, I actually knew her. I just was like, oh, because I was so head right, because it was like, they're all like wee young girls and stuff, like, they won't speak to you, like, they actually won't speak to you, like, because they just don't, like. But I remember, like, it was bullshit being in St. or being in Our Ladies. Like, we would go to class and we'd have to leave early and be there late because we weren't in the fucking school. And like, it was me and Max Costa and Dara Douglas, like, and so we done classes and she just didn't like us. And girls always talk to me about this time where they remember Miss Donnelly roaring at me. I can't remember as I got roared at that much. I can't remember getting roared at, but I don't even know what it was about. Like, I think it was her being cheeky to me, like, and I said, don't be cheeky to me or something. Like, it was that, yeah, it was that. Girls in the class can maybe remember. I was like, quit being cheeky to me or something. Like, I said something to her, like, because she was just like, arsehole to us, was boring, like. And yeah, like, and then 7th year it was just me and Max Carstairs and Cian Lyons. Cian Lyons done PE, like, and we would all, the bus just stopped coming for us, like, the bus just didn't come for us, and we were in there 3 or 4 days a week, so we would have to get a bus to the all girls school, which was like a mile up the road, mile and a half up the road, and the bus just stopped coming, and then so we would have to walk, so we were late to class and we had to leave early, like. It's a fucking joke, so it was, and your woman never believed us, like. And you see the first, like, this is actually outrageous, this story, and this encapsulates in the St. Common stories and that people have asked. I remember, like, getting asked, I don't know why I was the representative of these fucking boys, like, because we all had to walk, like, we all had to walk to class, like, and it was fucking balls, so it was, like. And we would just be late as fuck, walk in, and like, Miss Donnelly would be reading fucking Chaucer from literally 900 years ago. She would be reading books from it's 1100s or 1400s. Anyway, it was fucking shite, total shite. The whole gimmick, and I mean gimmick as in it didn't fucking work, of Chaucer was that he would make every word rhyme. It was Wife of Bath was what we were reading, this real old literature, like. And we had to analyse it. The shit was gibberish. As a writer and as a rapper at the time, who had to make every word rhyme because I'm fucking rapping, the cunt Chaucer and Wife of Bath would just make up words so that the rhyme. It was total gibberish, like, right? And Miss Donnelly would be sitting going, this means that and this means that, and I'd be like, girl, this shit ain't even real. I'd be like, girl, I'd be walking in and she'd be halfway through, like, Wife of Bath was about this woman. She was basically like just wasn't faithful to men. She had loads of husbands and stuff, like, so she was kind of bad. She was body back in the day. She kind of was like a Kardashian of her day, but she was prosecuted for it because she was kind of ahead of her time or whatever. And that's literally all I know about it, because we would teach us and she would be halfway through it when we walked in and she would be like, the howdy dowdy of the do would do with the one that would with the who, and you just be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you'd walk in and she'd be casting spells. She'd be walking in and she'd be speaking to the gypsies. Like, you'd walk in and you just have to sit down and try and catch up where the fuck you were. And Miss Donnelly treated us like ghosts. Like, we would walk into class, we wouldn't even get a hello or goodbye. We'd just get sit the fuck down. Like, we wouldn't even get a word. It wouldn't tell us what page it was on. And the girls treated us like absolute refugees. Like, we would walk in, the girls would be like, shut the fuck up. And me and Max Carstairs would just sit there and draw Homer Simpson for 45 minutes. Because there actually wasn't a notion of what we were doing there. Like. So yeah, like, if you're doing the wife of Bath or anything, and I did Streetcar Named Desire, I love Streetcar Named Desire, and I did Frankenstein, and I tell you now, I've done Frankenstein 4th year, 5th year, 6th year, repeated 6th year, and 7th year. I've done it 5 years. I actually don't think I've ever read that book, because they would just like, and I did like Frankenstein, but I actually don't think I've ever read the book, and I studied it for 5 years. You know what I mean? They're like, just lazy as hell, but I think I've done it in 3rd year as well in fucking St. Louis. But yeah, there's a wee St. Louis. Oh no, this is a story here. We kept showing up late to class, and and I think the principal of Our Lady's, Miss Matt Linton or something, called me in for a meeting, and I was like, why am I the representative of every boy here? Like, because I'm fucking tall and hairy. Like, so I got called in. And she was like, just told me, it was actually a wild enough story there. Like, she just told me that, like, I had to organise the buses and stuff, and told me that I had to organise just the buses and to the school and so, and it was like I had to be the one to kind of ring up and stuff, and I was like, girl, how the fuck am I gonna do that? Or like, and then eventually I just wanted to go home, and I was like, yep, I'll definitely do that. I will do the school's job here. She said a whole lot more, but I'm not getting into it because you know how fucking egotistical teachers are. Like, they probably fucking email me and sue me here. But yeah, that was the main conversation. I'll tell the story a different time under her name, because I've already said her name and I couldn't be bored there and like. But I think it was her. I think that's her name. Like, but yeah, she told me, like, got me in and says, you have to organise the buses instead of walking to school. And I was like, okay, girl. And then I walked to school for the rest of the year. But yeah. I've loads of stories and comments, but I just have to write them down. Like, cause the thing is, see, like, the whole way through St. Louis and St. Commons, I was doing something every single day. So it's actually easier for me to remember days that I was good and nothing happened, and days there was something did happen, because they just happened every time. It's like asking a Premier League footballer to, like, remember every single goal they scored in detail. Like, it just won't happen. Like, there's another one. Like, who's the most famous person you ever met? I don't know. Well, like, I would say Roman Reigns. But, like, Roman Reigns was in Dublin, and I gave him over the thing, and he, like, shook my hand, and he signed my title. So I have our LSCW, the title we fight for, is signed by him. The signature's pretty faded now because it was in gold, like, signed in a gold, sorry, but you can still see it, like, and he still held it. And so you could say that I met him. I'd say, but the proper meeting was probably Giancarlo Esposito, who's my profile picture on YouTube. If you look at my profile picture on YouTube, you Gus Fring from Breaking Bad, Moff Gideon from Mandalorian. He's in Do the Right Thing. The Spike Lee Abbott. He is in The Boys. Stan Edgar in The Boys. He is in Far Cry 6 as Anton Castillo. He is in Malcolm X. I already said that. There's loads of stuff. You know who he is. Giancarlo Esposito. I always called him, because I'm super ethnic and super exotic, I'd be like Giancarlo, but it's Giancarlo. Because I heard him say it. So I met him. He was super fucking nice. Like, me and my brothers all met him, and asked for a photo. I was like, great to meet you. Let's do an evil photo. Like, and we done an evil photo, like, real serious one. Then my brothers came in, and I said, we're all from Ireland. We all came here to see you. And he told us. He said, I was like, I have relatives in Ireland and all. I was like, do you actually? And he's like, yeah. And he spoke to us, and he said that he's got relatives in Wicklow, and he's been to Wicklow a few times. And we were like, that's about 2 hours away from us, like. And I have a Wicklow jersey or whatever. And then he told us, he was like, just super, super nice. Just shook all our hands, and then he was like, I was like, thank you for all the entertainment over the years. Because the thing is, like, I love him probably more for, like, Mandalorian and stuff for than Breaking Bad, because I watched Breaking Bad when I was like 14. So yeah, I love him. Like, and he said make sure he's all look after each other, and that was like sort of stuck with us. Like, that was pretty cool that he said that. So that's probably the most famous person. I've met McFly. I've met all of McFly when I was 5 or 6. I met Seamus and Big Show when I was 9 and 10. I met, who else I meet? There's a few more celebrities that I met. Joe Manganiello from The Sopranos and Matrix and stuff. Met Sam Witwer, who's a game actor. He's in The Force Unleashed, the Star Wars games, and he's Star Wars voice actor. And he's in Days Gone, the game. Met we were by Jack from Coronation Street. Real owl by used to be in Coronation Street. We were in Donegal one time on holidays, and he was just sitting at the front of the hotel, got a photo with him, bros or whatever, and then he died. I've met Boba Fett, the original actor of Boba Fett, Jeremy Bulloch, not forget his name. Not your guy that plays him with the mask off, the guy in the original films, Jeremy Bulloch. I met him, he died last year or the year before. And I met David Prowse, who is the actor of Darth Vader. I met him as well. I have a figure signed by him. That was in Belfast at W5 convention that I met them both. Jeremy Bulloch, David Prowse is very old and he's over 7 foot, so he was kind of fucked. Well, he wasn't fucked, it was just that he'd not fit. You know what I mean? But he signed it, and but Jeremy Bulloch, I remember we just showed up at this convention. We just knew there'd be Star Wars stuff out at that, and me and my brother, I was 10, I have a photo and all with him, like, and he stood and he talked to me and Mummy and Dwayne and my brother Dwayne. Boba Fett's like his favourite Star Wars character ever, like, and we just saw him and we're like, were you Boba Fett? And he was like, yeah. Like, we had no idea he'd be there, like, and like most people were probably there to see him, like. And he stood and he talked to me and my mummy and Dwayne for like 15 minutes. It was insane. Told us how to get in the out and everything, like. And he signed all the things for us, took photos and all this. I don't even think he charged us. I don't even think he charged us for the photos, like. He was sound as a pound real, like. This is gonna be over an hour. We just decided, like, right. So he was pretty cool. Who else? I'm trying to think. I've definitely met more celebrities, but they're just escaping me now. I'm trying to think of musicians. I met Kyle Falconer, the lead singer of The View. He's got a really famous Scottish band. If you don't know, he sings Same Shoes. You might know songs like I've got the same shoes on for 4 days now. Everybody's dressing up. I'm dressing down. Everybody's I'm here now. And then yeah, they're a real famous Scottish band. I met him in Liverpool, and I met Steve Stamp, which is Steve's from People Just Do Nothing. Met him in Liverpool also. A great writer, a great comedian. I hope you liked me singing that song there. Like, what other song? But that's the Scottish accent, because it sings in real thick Scottish accent. So yeah, got to sing Same Shoes, real famous Britpop song. Good band. But my brother's favourite band ever, and I met him and I shoved it in his fucking face. I goes, Dwayne, I just met Kyle Falconer. He's like, no, you didn't. I sent him the photo. He goes, you did, you fucking bastard. I goes, me and him bros. Real. And you can be jealous and you can lick my ass. But yeah. That's the most famous. Like, Giancarlo is probably famous. And if you can say that I met Roman Reigns through that, then Roman Reigns be most famous. Like, yeah. I haven't met, like, met Michael Murphy 3 times. He's like an idol of mine. Met him 3 times. Me and him's bros or whatever. If he's what, like, people will be watching this and be like, GAA stars. I met I met Aidan O'Shea. I've met Ambrose Rogers is my full cousin, so I've met him loads of times. So yeah, we're like bros or whatever. We're like full cousins or whatever. Down camp or whatever. Met Mark Poland. Mark Poland's also basically like one of my brothers. Like, used to like. Still great supporter of mine. Mark Poland, Down legend, one of Down's best ever players, and Longstone's best ever players. His ma used to look after me, and so Mark essentially looked after me, and they all looked after me. They're like my second family, the Polands, like, so I'm super, I love them forever, like. I was at Mark's wedding and stuff because we're bros or whatever. So yeah, but he still supports me to this day, like. So if you're counting them as celebrities, then I've met them, like. I don't think I've met any Liverpool players or anything like that. I don't think I've met any like famous football or like soccer players or anything like that. Or boxers or fighters or anything like that. Mainly just wrestlers and musicians. My UFC top 5 of all time. That's gotta be over an hour. It is over an hour now. John Jones. John Jones got me back into UFC when I was like 14 or 13 because he was on the front of the cover of the game, so that got me real back into it. I was in there when I was 9 before Griffin, but I couldn't really watch it and understand it because I was too young. And what else did I do? No. Yeah, that's what I did. I played the game, got really back in it. So John Jones, probably best ever. George St. Pierre, hopefully I think I'm going to a seminar of his in April, the end of April. I'm going to meet him, go talk to him the end of April. Because if we get this wrestling done, then we have to train. If we're getting this wrestling in the Longstone Hall, we have to train with the best in the world. You're going to see photos of me and him. So hopefully, I would like that. So GSP, John Jones. I'm trying to think now that I don't even like throwing Khabib's in top 5s, but like if you're giving it a top 5, probably have to do Khabib, cause he did beat Poirier, Gaethje, and McGregor, like who are the best lightweights ever. Other one of the goats that I was gonna say Fedor there, but he never fought in the UFC. That. So there's 3: John Jones, GSP. I'm gonna forget somebody here, obviously, that, and Khabib. Who else would there be? That Cain Velasquez I always loved, but I don't know if you can throw him in GOAT anymore. I was super into him when I was young as a fighter, that, but he wouldn't be there. You'd probably have to put, I don't know, that I love Daniel Cormier, but he got beat. I do think he's one of the best ever, but he got beat with John Jones and it just tarnishes him. And Stipe beat him twice. So there's 3. I just don't know now that. There's people there, like, I'm just trying to think of the old legends like Frank and Ken Shamrock and stuff, but like Ken Shamrock or Frank Shamrock only fought a few times, then he retired. Ken Shamrock's wrestler as well, he done a lot of stuff. Used to love Tyron Woodley. I just think he was unbelievable, but I don't anymore because he just keeps fucking losing over and over. Favorite fighter ever is Dustin Poirier, like, but can't include him in top 5 because that would just be ball like and that. Dominic Cruz, that's who I was thinking. Dominic Cruz would be in my top 5 ever. I think his footwork, his striking is phenomenal. I'm sorry for stretching this out. That's me thinking that. Dominic Cruz is a phenomenal fighter in every single way. It's just amazing, that, and just inspired me a lot. Got me so into the stuff in 2016, and he'd only fought a few times since I super watched the UFC every single week. You're supposed to have to follow it, but I wouldn't stay up for it. Like. So he would be in my top 5 ever, and he spoke to me before. I emailed him one time and he got back to me, that, so we're like bros or whatever. And then it would just be Anderson Silva. Yeah, I would say Anderson Silva is one of the best. That, beat everyone, and I don't think losing the load really, not really the way he does. I know he lost to Jake Paul, but it could have went either way. I'm not really counting that fiasco. But yeah, so it would be John Jones, Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, Dominic Cruz, and I'm fucking forgetting now. You see what I mean here? I've actual dementia recording this podcast, like, but you just usually remember, like, and then there's probably more I'm forgetting there, like, but here's another question. That's a good one. These are good questions that I've actually loaded at the back end of the podcast, so you need to watch all this, like. Would you ever start back playing football, even just reserves? The thing of me playing football was that I never felt I stopped. Okay, I tore my knee when I was last year in minors, tore all the cartilage in my knee, healed it myself. Went back to football early. That didn't really enjoy football last year, like, because we were fucking shite and barely ever got playing that.
And then I remember going to senior meeting for training, and then senior training started in December or January. That starts a whole lot earlier now. But I got my thing tore. Like I got that ingrown hair surgery in my back. Like half my back took 6 months to heal, and just the season was basically gone. You couldn't go then, and you weren't supposed to exercise with that for ages. Like I wrestled with it, but I didn't exercise or nothing like. So I put on weight and stuff, and then the next year was 2020. I was back at school, and just back at school, and then like just no, was not fit at all. And then March came, and then the pandemic, and then I went to uni. Or no, and then like the pandemic happened, and then there was no football essentially. That, and I just still really forgot about it. Like it was my own fault, probably out of laziness. Like, and then the pandemic happened, like, and then I went to uni, so I don't live at home anymore to do football. I love football. I would love to play football more than anything, probably. Like, but sure, you know, I mean, you can't do everything. Like, you know, like I've said in the podcast before, I wish to fuck that I played football my whole life, and I was just like was really good at football, but then like couldn't, if I wasn't footballing, then I couldn't grapple, and I couldn't wrestle, and I wouldn't be able to do music, and I wouldn't be able to do this, and I wouldn't be in uni, and I wouldn't have things that I have now. So there's a trade off. Like there's a whole lot of Gaelic players can't do what I do, and then there's every Gaelic player I can't do what they do. Like, so that's just the way it is. But I would love to return to football eventually. Like, so I just need I'm in pretty good shape now, to be honest, fitness wise. But if my next thing, if we are doing the wrestling in the summer, I'll know in the next few weeks, and then I'll go in the full camp. I'll go with Next Gen MMA in Liverpool. I'll do a full camp with them, maybe 2 months, live here, live in Liverpool, do the camp with them, promote it, and yep. So yeah, that's the way I would do it. But yeah, I would love to do. I wouldn't play reserves, because if I'm gonna play football, I would do it properly. Wouldn't just play reserves, because I'm competitive. Why did I switch schools? I went from St Louis to St Coleman's because I was bored of St Louis. Essentially, here's be real here. Like Finn Marrow, like good mate, went to St Coleman's, and it was like such a big far stretch, and he went because of the football team. Like, and like I was back playing football, like, and I wasn't really that interested in playing football team, but like I went to see the McCrory semi-final or quarter-final. Went to the McCrory quarter-final, and Finn was playing. I just saw how much fun the school was, because we had the St Louis ladies football team were actually better than the men's, and they won Ulster or something like. And I had the whole school singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" with it, and they were getting stuffed by like 4 goals at this stage. It was the All-Ireland semi-final, and I just had so much fun with it, and we chanted loads and stuff. And then I went, but it was only really me doing it. Everyone else was so quiet and shy, because everyone in St Louis is boring as fuck. And then I went to St Coleman's, did the quarter final, and I just saw how crazy it was and how much fun they were all having. And I was just like, this is cool as fuck. And so it just like, and at that time, everybody knows when I was in St Louis, it was like there's nothing gonna leave and take me away from St Louis. Even though I didn't really like it, I did have a lot of fun, and the teachers weren't that good to me. Teachers aren't that good in St Louis. Like, it's a bit of a shithole school. But there is good teachers in it, but there's some that just think that they're teaching at Harvard there, like, and it's just they're right way above their pay grade kind of spirit. Like teachers are like, I wouldn't mind being a teacher. I probably could and will end up being a teacher, like, but like there's teachers there that like literally think they're in Iraq, like they think they're in the army there, like, and it's just like, you're speaking to a 13-year-old here, like, you know what I mean? Don't be roaring at me, like go home and go for a beer or something, like, go home, play a game, go home, watch film. Do you know what I mean? Like there's teachers there that are literally, they'll just like teachers from school. Even when I was doing well in school, they'd be roaring, they'd be like, who do you think you are? Who the fuck do you think you are? And like, who do you think you're speaking to? Who do you think you're speaking to? It's like, girl, you left school, you went to uni, and then you went straight back to school, girl. You ain't. And then they talk, like, teachers be like, you won't make it in the real world. You won't make it in the real world. It's like, fucker, you ain't even in the real world. You get the whole summer off, and you get the weekends off, and you sit in school all the time, and you mark papers. There is no real world, like. You're not fucking, like, you're a teacher, like. You're not detonating nuclear bombs, like. You're teaching the cat in the hat to a 12-year-old like who's fucking all he can think about is baiting to the wee girl right beside him. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like you aren't like once you get GCSE and A level, then take it serious. No, take it serious at A level because you're making young minds and young careers. But like, see you rolling at a second or third year, like actually get a grip. Like St. Louis once did that to me all the time. Like Miss Cunningham, your head roared at me. Like just was a cunt to me. Like we just didn't get on, and that was essentially it. Like we just fought all the time. But like she not really said. I'm just talking about like there's teachers there that will just roar the head of you. Like and you just have to actually meme them. Like just have to be like here fuck up. You know what I mean? And I did do that in St. Coleman's. Like I remember teachers like shouting at me, roaring at me and stuff like, and I'd just be like, "Here, shut the fuck up!" Like, and then they would just do nothing because at that stage we were last few months, and I just lost all notion of trying to impress these teachers anymore. Like, I remember JP O'Hara was just so picky to me. Like, I remember one time he rung my fucking dad, cause I like we were in Microsoft Teams. You know the way you can type in Teams like a wee group chat. I text hey, and he rung my dad over like and said I was fucking about. And then my dad's an absolute bean sprout. Like I don't even know how I got my dad's number. I think Mr. Doyle had my dad's number or something like some fucking how through cows or some shit like. And he rung my dad instead of ringing my ma like. And then my dad was like, "Fucking hell, teacher ring me, misbehaving." And I just was like, "Daddy, shut the fuck." I went psycho on him. But like JP O'Hara was just so annoying to me. Like I remember one time we were all signing out to go to the study room like, and we were all signed out to go to the study room and he wouldn't let me in the room like, in his room on the computers, and I just sat there and I was like, "Sir, shut up." Like he wouldn't let me in because I was me. Like I was still Costa at that stage. Like, but he actually had no problems with me. Like he just was kind of racist. Like remember when one time like, it was like tried to take the piss out of me for being like "Should you wrestle in the garden in spandex?" Like I was like, "When the fuck have I ever wore spandex, you dick?" And then like Max Costa was like, he raised a lot of money for charity there, so don't be cheeky. That, and I appreciate Max saying that. Like, but he was such an arsehole to me for no reason. He was a jealous cunt, like, because I was popping and as fuck, like, and that's just essentially it. Like, and I remember one time like we had that argument where he wouldn't let me in his class, and I was like, "Sir, I'm gonna sit here and be quiet. Shut up, like, I teach your class, like, and just be quiet, like, just leave me alone. Let me do my work here, like, because that's all I was doing. I got loads of work done, like, and he just wanted to start me, like, he just wanted to." I don't know how these teachers thought they could wordplay with me at this stage. It was just like, no, it's not fucking happening. Because at this stage, I was promoing and wrestling all the time, so I was quick as fuck, and I was rapping, so I was quick as fuck with words, like. So I don't know why he would go do this to me. Like he would always try and start, and I'd just be like, "Shut the fuck up." And one time, that's what I said. I said like, "Sure, shut your mouth, like, please." And I'm not joking. This is the things I would say to him. I'd be like, "Sir, shut your mouth and teach your class, sir. Like, I ain't gonna sit here and do work. Just shut up. Like, leave me alone. Just leave me alone." Like, and so he left me alone. And then the next class, he took me outside and he was talking to me and he was like, "Don't you be cheating to me in front of my class." And I was like, "Sir, you're being cheating to me. Don't tell me not to be cheeky here. I'm 19 here and you're speaking to me like a piece of shit." Like, I was like, "You're not doing that to me. Like, you let everybody else use your computers in the class, but not me. Like, what does that even mean? You barely even talk to me. Like, so you're sitting going off everybody else's opinions of me and all this here." And he was a cheeky bastard to me, so he was like, and he was like, "Oh no, that's the way it was, and that's the way." That's like, you can't be doing that there, and I didn't want you in the class. And I was like, "You didn't want me in the class for absolutely no reason, because you're a dick face." Like, and I was like, just said to him, I was like, "Because you're being a dick." Said to him, "You're being a dick." Like, and he was like, and then some other wee by him was like, "Sir, can you sign this for me?" Because he was yearhead, like, he was yearhead, and he was like, "See how nicely he done that there?" And I was like, "That's because you weren't a complete dick to him." And I said, and I opened the door so the whole class could see it. I was like, we were standing outside the door, and I opened the door so the whole class could see it. And I said, don't you ever talk to me about this here again." I said, "Over. Don't ever speak to me like that or again." And the whole class saying that, and not a word out of him again. I think kind of made peace there, and there was a respect level again of being like, "Just shut up." So yeah, me and him got on pretty decently the rest of that, had the crack with each other, but I think he rung home over that. Like, I think he rung my ma, or else it was a few months ago, before that, he rung my ma and gave off. There was a thing, because I repeated 6th year, he said one time I was a 7th year plus VAT or plus tax or something really original, like, that I heard somebody else say 10 years ago, like, and he said one time, "You're all 7th years," and then pointed at me and said plus tax. because I repeat it, and then like I was so cheeky, like, and I didn't say anything to him, like, and then he rung my man. I'd already told my man that he said this, and he was like, one time I rung my man to give off about me being cheeky to him, and then my man was like, well, how long here? One time you said 7 year plus VAT to him. How's he gonna have any respect for you if you're just gonna be a fucking slabber to him, like? And he was like, oh, I didn't know that offended him or anything. I was like, what the fuck do you mean? You're being a cheeky bastard, like. So yeah, there's a St. Coleman story that I've funny ones, like, but that's a cheeky one, and like, I loved that school. I loved school. It was the best time ever. I wouldn't change any of it. Like, I just had some arguments with some teachers and stuff, but like, me and Mr. Doyle were bros. Me and Mr. McKinney ended up being bros. And I'll tell the stories later because this is an hour and 15 minutes. I have still some more questions there, but I'll get on to them in the next one. Like. But yep, that was the call at Costa, and I hope I told plenty of stories. I think I backloaded this too much. I think that I started the video with worse questions, but I didn't have them in order, you know what I mean? Like, the rap stuff I've already told. But anyway, we talked about rap, we talked about Giddy, we talked about Jed, we talked about fighting, we talked about everything, we talked about school. So yeah. Miss Magdalene, Mr. O'Hara, I've no problems with you now, okay? Don't fucking contact me. Good luck. Love. Any other announcements? Thank you for all the support in Tang videos and the GEA videos. I've loads of them, and stop telling me that I look really nice in the Tang outfit, because if you're saying that, you are a Tang and you dress like that, or you fancy them. Happy birthday, Siobhan Higgins. Love you. Bye. Bye.